Great. I think we're one after here. We've got a decent amount of folks joined. Thanks everybody for joining. Uh, my name is Neil Kostecki. I'm Director Outbound Product Management. Today I'm joined by Sinduja Ramanujam, Senior Principal Inbound Product Manager. She will be covering all of the latest and greatest innovations we're bringing you in Q4. And today we're going to talk to you about starting your GenAI journey with Now Assist for CSM. First, before we get started, safe harbor notice, of course, we're talking about current functionality, but if we do happen to get into any future statements, always make your purchasing decisions based on currently available functionality. And we will get started here. So first of all, you're obviously joining this webinar. We have previous webinars and future webinars coming up, as well as 360 exchanges, which are really interesting conversational type experiences where you can chat with our experts and actually have breakout rooms. So really great content available to you. You can go ahead and take a screenshot or use your phone to capture that QR code, which will take you there, and you can sign up for those future sessions. Quick housekeeping. We are going to save the Q&A for the end. So there's a Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. You can go ahead and put your questions in there, and we will be happy to answer them. This presentation will be recorded. I repeat, this presentation will be recorded and shared on the community. So if you have that question, it is answered. And after the event, you'll be prompted to fill out a short survey. We really appreciate you being here, and we appreciate your feedback. We want to get better at this on every session, so thank you. Again, my name is Neil Kostecki. I am on the outbound side, covering kind of go-to-market and telling our stakeholders, including you, about all the great functionality we have. And like I mentioned, Sinduja will join us to cover the new functionality coming in our Q4 release. So what's on the agenda? Today, we're going to cover a brief overview of Now Assist for CSM. We'll cover getting started and actually do a demo of some of what that looks like. And then we'll get into what's new in Q4. Again, time for Q&A at the end. So first of all, Now Assist for CSM. What is it and who is it for? You're here because you want to start your journey, so we want to start at the beginning. ServiceNow is the AI platform for business transformation. This is what our platform looks at a very high level. You can see that AI kind of falls right in the middle here, in between your workflow and your data. And AI enables you to inject, capabilities into your workflow, leveraging that data. And you'll see, we'll talk about how it's really important to think about the data that you have available and the systems that you're leveraging in order to get a good use and good impact and outcome from AI. We've been investing in AI for quite a long time. This is just to say that, generative AI is fairly new and hot topic, but we've been investing in deploying functionality, things like similarity and clustering and classification for quite a long time now. And of course, we're investing very heavily in the generative AI front. So lots of great features and functionality in our releases. Now Assist for CSM specifically is what we're here to talk about. We are both in the customer service management side of things. So how do you think about what Now Assist does for service? First of all, it gives 24/7 access to that contextual information around services. It's going to help to solve issues for agents and allow them to focus on higher value work. It's going to enable managers to gain the insights they need to understand what's going on in the business and how to solve for those. And it's also really easy to deploy, and you'll see that today, how you can actually get started and implement some of this functionality. So for customers, on the outcome side of things, it's about increasing self-service, things like case deflection, providing answers in the flow of self-service. It's going to give your customers better experiences through conversational engagement with the service catalog, with answers and topics that can be handled more fluidly using conversation. And it's going to give fast time to value because you can deploy these solutions really quickly and leverage the information that's already available on the platform. On the agent side, it's going to improve your service quality because agents are able to deliver consistent and fast answers. They're going to spend less time gathering context. leveraging things like summarization. It's going to reduce your mean time to resolution because agents can find those answers and reuse knowledge and cases and information that's already present and can help solve. And then it's going to give them a better experience because they can leverage that information, focus on the more complex work, and it's injected into the actual workflow so that you'll see right where they're working. The features are kind of embedded right into the workspace. And then finally, when you think on kind of the deployment side of things, administrators, developers, and AI practitioners also benefit from Now Assist. It's easy to deploy. It can be done with just a few clicks using the Now Assist admin console. You can create custom skills using Now Assist Skill Kit, and then you can integrate those using UI Builder into your experience. And you can also, and we'll talk about this later on as well, you can also leverage Now Assist Data Kit and Now Assist Guardian. So Data Kit will allow you to handle and manage your data sets, and Guardian will give you ability to responsibly deploy AI. And just if I pause for one moment on Now Assist Skill Kit, I think this is particularly important. We released it in Q3, and there's enhancements coming to it as well. This allows you to create, customize, and deploy entirely new skills, skills that go beyond the out-of-the-box experience. You can leverage flow actions, subflows, and scripts, and completely author your prompt however you like. You can trigger those actions through the UI, as I mentioned, and you can test those against records that are right in your instance. So very powerful tool for administrators. So the question is, how do you get started? We've put together some steps here that are going to hopefully help you get an idea of the things that you should be thinking about as you're getting started with Now Assist for CSM. So first off, you need to get buy-in from your stakeholders. The main point of this is to identify your use cases, not just take the features and implement them, but in fact, understand the challenges that your users are experiencing and how AI can help and impact them, impact the business once they've been solved for. You need to think about things like, should I build or buy AI solutions? Which is going to give you the best value for your money and the fastest results. And you need to think about having the ability to integrate and have extensible type of solution. You need to think about the problems you're trying to solve, right? What does your business need and how can AI improve the work for your people? It's not about can I click this button and, have this built into this feature built in, but the problem is, agents are spending a lot of time trying to understand what's going on in a case. That's what you really need to focus on, is addressing those challenges. And you also need to think about how you'll manage it. So deploying AI is one thing, but then doing it at scale, making it secure, having the ability to manage it and see all the skills and capabilities and manage them in a centralized place. So the key here is AI is only as intelligent as the platform it's built on. And a lot of those problems and challenges can be solved by leveraging a single continuous experience. Secondly, you need to get an understanding of the functionality. So we have a ton of resources available. Documentation and release notes is a great spot, a great place to start. It's going to give you information about what's been released, how it works, all the reference information that you might need. Going beyond that, you can leverage a number of training courses that we have available on Now Learning that are going to give you the essentials and actually how to implement that into your own organization. And you'll be able to get, badges that will indicate that you've completed those. And then finally, we also have webinars like this one on ServiceNow Community. There is others, so you can see here the Tap into Generative AI, which we did in 2023 as well. And we will continue to do more of these for Now Assist for CSM. And so again, go ahead and sign up and make sure you're getting those notifications. The third thing you need to think about is the prerequisites, right? So it's not just about the AI itself, but in fact, thinking about how you're going to do this at scale and in a way that's going to leverage the data in the right place. As a best practice, we recommend things like using our foundational data models, things like knowledge. If you haven't deployed knowledge into your instance, how are you going to serve up the right answers in your self-service experience or to your agents? How are you going to leverage things like conversational conversational virtual agent catalog? There's leveraging these data foundational aspects of CSM is going to make sure that you have the right information about your customer, your products, your services, um, cases, and really understanding the services that are available is important. So the AI model can have the right context, and the relationship between those things is extremely important. And when you're deploying, you need to leverage out of the box experiences if you want to be able to deploy quickly. Of course, you can do custom implementations. I talked a bit about leveraging new skills and implementing them through UI Builder, but if you're leveraging, CSM configurable workspace, you're going to be able to deploy functionality really quickly and simply in a way that is easy, scalable, and predictable. So virtual agent service catalog and our out of the box portals. The more you're going out of the box, the easier it's going to be to deploy and maintain those experiences. Number 4, consider which skills are going to provide the most value for your organization. There's a lot of different skills. We call each one of the capabilities a skill. You manage those through the Now Assist admin console. In customer self-service, there is Now Assist in AI search and Now Assist in virtual agent, which are going to deliver generated Q&A genius results in those experiences. But again, if you haven't deployed knowledge, your knowledge is the food for those answers, right? So think about which of the skills that are going to be best for you on day one. Maybe you want to focus on summarization because you have case data, you have the information in there, and that is something that on day one you can get value out of. So really look at it and think about and plan which skills you want to deploy in kind of which order. And I think it's also worth noting that deploying these skills creates a virtuous loop. So if you leverage KB generation for your agents, and your agents are now able to create good knowledge content from existing cases where there wasn't a previous solution. Well, now that's going to be leveraged by, let's say, Now Assist in AI search on your portal, which is going to be able to provide generated answers for your customers to help deflect cases for your agents. So all these features kind of work together, and so it's important to think of it in that sort of way as well. Step 5, you're going to install Now Assist for CSM. So you can see it here on the store. There is quarterly releases, so we're releasing functionality every quarter, more and more, lots of great functionality coming and enhancements, both enhancements and new features. And then you're going to configure those skills through the Now Assist admin console, which I will show you. You want to take note of best practices and lessons learned. We have a ton of information, implementation guides, best practices, quick start guides. We have a lot of information around Now Assist and AI search. So you'll find these across the ServiceNow community, as well as our Now Create. So a lot of great content available to you to go beyond just the how does it work and what is it, and really think about the practical implementation and the challenges you might run into as you're going through that, or the things that you might need to think about and plan as you're doing those implementations. So a lot of great content here. Number 7, once you've done that implementation, is you need to think about how are you getting value and how are you actually tracking it. So assessing value through outcome-based metrics. So think about things like reducing the number of cases worked. And in order to do that, obviously, you're going to define a success metric, which is your volume of cases. And then think about what is the capability, what is the use case that you're using to drive that outcome. So generated answers, conversational interactions in your virtual agent, and then think about on the agent side, reducing effort to resolve cases, both from a wrap-up time as well as transferring. So from one agent to the next agent, leveraging resolution notes or summarization to be able to provide the agent or the next agent you're transferring to the context that they can understand that case really quickly and get to solving it. So this is a way to kind of some examples of outcomes that you might want to track against and how you might be able to track them. But again, think about your organization and what you're trying to accomplish and plan that out so that you're really thinking about, are you getting success from leveraging Now Assist? And then the final is really just continuing to activate additional skills. So like I said, we're going to release new functionality. You're going to want to implement those capabilities and monitor and adjust as needed. But it's important to monitor those metrics and outcomes and remember that it's really about improving the customer and agent experiences, not just about deploying the features and functionality, which means you need to communicate early and often with your users, your customers, your agents. Actually ask them and validate whether their needs are being heard. So first of all, they feel that they're being heard, but you are in fact learning from them and what their experience is with those capabilities, and then adjust your deployment accordingly. And then look for new use cases to apply AI. I mentioned Now Assist Skill Kit, which allows you to create, test, and deploy those new skills for your organization. There are all sorts of use cases that we haven't built out of the box that might be applicable to your business. And so this tool is going to allow you to solve for those types of situations. So quick summary, I won't go through them all, but again, you really need to plan out your implementation from start to end and continue continue that virtuous cycle as we deploy new innovative capabilities. So I'm going to hop over and give you a quick demo here. So first of all, I am in our Now Assist admin console. Here you can see what plugins you've implemented, and you can see plugins that are not installed or plugins that are installed, skills that you've not started to set up, and in this case, a skill that I have started to implement, which is email recommendation. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to jump me into the Now Assist features under the customer section. And you can see here under the case, I have email recommendation as one of the skills. So you can see a number of different skills here and their various states. I can hop into the details of this particular skill here. You can see that my email recommendation is kind of in a draft state. I can go ahead and click activate. And along the way, you're getting guided information on the dashboard as you're setting up the skill. So there's a lot of good context to help you along the way. But you can see it's a really guided experience. So if I go back here to the email parameters, it's going to show me the information that's being used as input. So the short description, the description, all the journal fields, and the emails. I can define the availability. So I can choose to set the skill as always available or customize the skill availability. I might want to choose conditionally based on specific fields and their values that it's available, or I might just want the skill to always be available. I can save and continue. And then I can choose where to display. In some cases, depending on the skill, you may have both in product as well as in the Now Assist panel. The Now Assist panel is kind of this always available option up in the top right here. So skills can be made available in the product, in the workflow, but also available in the Now Assist panel. So you can see some of those skills listed here. So I'm just going to say it's displayed in product, and then you can also choose, in some cases, roles for which the skill will be displayed. So we've got agents there, we're good. And then the last step is really just reviewing and activating. So here's kind of what I've gone through. I can go ahead and click activate, and that's it. That is activating a skill from the administrator point of view. And then it's available in the UI. And what does that look like? So as an example here, I've got a few different cases I can show you. Our email recommendation skill that I've just configured is available here in the activity stream where I've got an email. I can actually click the reply button right in line. And we've got our what we call our modeless dialog where I can resize and move this around as I need. So if I need a little more screen space. And you can see Now Assist is already there. So if I want to type my email, I can, or I can just click on the Now Assist context menu, and it's going to automatically generate a response to this email. I can then determine whether I want to send this, or I can even refine it if I'd like, elaborate or shorten it and choose a different option, or I can just insert and send that off to the customer. There are other skills, which I didn't walk through configuring here, which I'm just going to quickly show you. Things like case summarization, where I can actually, I'll just zoom a little bit, click the summarize button and get a summary of what's going on in this particular case. It's going to leverage all the information in the case, all the activity feed. So really very quickly and easily give me the information, which I can then also share into the case in the work notes. I can also do things like open a sidebar discussion. And a sidebar discussion is really agent-to-agent conversation where I might need some help and I reach out to another agent. And I can use sidebar summarization to summarize that conversation and share that to the work notes to capture that context so that it's part of the case. And then there's also other things, for example, like in this case, we might want to, let's see here. Just going to, just looking for my, oh, there it is, elaborate sentiment. So some custom skill sets that we wanted to show you, for example. So this is not an out-of-the-box capability. It is a custom skill that we've created using a UI action where I can actually choose the action here from the menu and get an elaborated explanation of the sentiment. Or if I want to show you something a little more visual, we've created this show NPS, which is just going to show you an example of how you might want to render a skill into a really kind of elaborate UI element in a modal with a visualization, leveraging surveys that have been submitted. So really the possibilities when it comes to Now Assist Skill Kit are kind of endless as to what your use case might be and how you want to present it to your agents in the flow of their work. But these are some examples and how you might set up the out-of-the-box skills. As you saw, email recommendation is very quick and easy. So that was all the features I want to show you here in the demo. I'm going to hop back over and I will pass it to Sinduja, who's going to take us through the new innovations in Q4.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you for the awesome demo. Feels good to see the products you've built kind of in the wild and you can actually see it in production. So I'll quickly walk you guys through whatever we've built in Q4 store release. Walk you through different personas and how we have kind of built it for like different personas all the way from agents to the end users who we call as requesters and a few other platform features as well. Think about it as, features that we're constantly building on, but a glimpse of whatever is available in Q4 today. So with that, we'll look at the email reply recommendation enhancements. What you saw is actually part of what we have been working on for email reply recommendation. The problem that we're really trying to solve here is, from an agent standpoint, when they're writing a new email, there is so much that goes on, so much context gathering that they're expected to do, so much swivel chair that happens. And so what we are doing here, Neil kind of covered it when we started, is how do we reduce the mean time to resolve a case, and also how do we increase the agent's efficiency so that they can start concentrating on like other high demanding tasks rather than having to do things that they really do not have to do. So one of the use cases that we have kind of started tackling is email reply recommendation. You saw that, there's an email that comes in, you can click on it and the GenAI magic happens. In the back end, we are actually looking at a lot of information to kind of give you that one snippet of email that you're able to send. We look at related cases, we look at other emails in the past in the same context. We look for KB articles, etc., to then be able to compose that particular email. With Q4, We've added a lot of support for new emails as well, and continuing usage in existing emails. So you do not need an existing email thread to generate a new GenAI response. The AI icon will show up either in a new email or an existing email thread. It includes related cases in the prompt itself. So all the related cases, every single thing that's similar to the case that you've started with, the base case, it pulls information from there as well. We've also included a lot of help for email templates, because one of the experiences or concerns that we had is, hey, we've created a lot of email templates. So how can we start leveraging that in GenAI? So you will see that come to life in the Q4 release through icons in the workspace, and also through shortcut within the compose area itself. So that's email reply. If you can go on to the next one, chat reply recommendation, very similar to email reply. How do we kind of give you the next best response for chat instances? From an agent's perspective, they're probably working on like multiple chats at the same time, and they're constantly having to context switch, look for additional information, talk to SMEs, gather context to then be able to compose that 3 or 4 lines that you see come through in the chat reply. And so we've started leveraging GenAI to say, okay, if you click on this button as an agent, how can we give you the next best response? And so for Q4, we've added related cases as additional sources for the prompt itself. Again, looking at how agent productivity, how can we enhance it? How do we reduce MTTR? And how do we reduce a swivel chair that happens in an agent's life? Moving on to the next one. We have call summarization enhancements. So you would have seen, all the interaction channels we've kind of covered, and seen how do we look at all of these different informations coming through different channels, through different interactions, and how do we use GenAI in these flows. So one key pattern that I do want to point out is we don't want GenAI to stick out like a sore thumb. Instead, we want it to be integrated into the day in and day out workflows that the agents are already used to, so that we can enhance their experience rather than them having to go and learn and do a new workflow, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what you would have seen in all the experiences that Neil covered, I will be covering. And so for call summarization, this is when a call comes in from an external user or an external customer for the agent. We've done a bunch of things here. In the past, what we did is summarize calls once the call ends when real-time transcripts were enabled. We've kind of gone ahead and enabled that for when real-time transcript is not enabled also for Q4. So for both real-time and non-real-time, we have transcripts. When the transcripts come in, we're able to summarize the calls for you. We're able to predict the short description. Either, when the call happens, interaction records get created, or when you move into the wrap-up phase. And we have done this for both incoming and outgoing calls as well. And this has shown a tremendous amount of decrease in the amount of wrap-up time as well. We've heard it take close to 7 to 10 minutes for customers to wrap up. And so the summarization kind of happens actually in seconds. It's pretty magical to look at it. And so we've kind of cut that down significantly for call summarizations too. Moving on to the next one. Resolution notes generations. This is actually a very big use case for us. Neil showed one of the other big use cases, which is case summarization. This is another one too, wherein you're able to click into the field where you want it to generate the resolution notes. And it, as you can see in the screenshot, it kind of generates the resolution notes for you as well. And we call it the Now Assist context menu, the AI icon that you keep seeing. You click on it, it'll generate. What we've done is we've also kind of gone ahead and integrated the elaborate and shorten for resolution notes as well. So it's able to pull more context from the case to increase the context of the resolution notes. Or if you think there's too much information in here, you can go ahead and shorten it too. And it helps you generate it with a single click rather than, having to look at the whole case record, the whole case history to come up with it. You can just click and then edit it as per your knowledge of the case. You can move on to the next one. This is prompt configurability, very similar to skill kit enhancements. You would have seen you're able to create your own skill from scratch that Neil kind of pointed out. This is for skills that are available out of the box. So you're able to make a copy of it and make changes to it as well, pre-Q4. In Q4, we've added other additional enhancements to it, like allowing conditional criteria for template creation. So you can add other rules when the template gets created. Dot walking is also available in the UI. As you can see, you can go from color to what kind of a color you want to kind of set it up for. And you're able to add relationship tables as well. I'm done with all of the agent magic that happens in the agent background. Let's move on to the requester now. Requester is customer of the customer. So, anybody who goes onto the portal, wants to interact with the VA, wants to ask questions in the search bar, etc. For this persona, what we're really trying to do is enhance their user experience. Obviously, give it like a world-class consumer-grade experience, number one. Secondly, what we're also trying to do is enable them to self-serve as much as possible, so that we can increase the deflection and not have to take every single chat to the live agent, every single question, end up creating a case, etc. So you will see a lot of more enhancements come in the upcoming quarters as well. But for now, in Q4, what we've done for Now Assist and Virtual Agent is this is actually a super huge boost where we have started synthesizing responses and make it like really conversational. So we have more complete answers. And as you can see, it kind of says only something along the lines of laptop policy, but it's able to pull up and look at this person's current information, look at the kind of work laptop they have, what are the exchange policies, when can they have it replaced, and start showing up the catalog items as well. So that if they wanted to take this one step further and say, they want to start requesting a replacement, or they want to start requesting some sort of a problem statement, or whatever it is, whatever the problems they're having with their laptop, we're able to then pull up the catalog information too, so that they're able to have a more richer experience. And one thing that I do want to point out here is this is a multi-turn Q&A, including inline citations. The little dot of one that you see up there, that guy is also pulling in the sources where we're getting this information from. So it adds more confidence for the requester as well. And multi-turn, meaning they're able to ask follow-up conversations on what GenAI has generated, and it can have a back and forth conversation. And small talk is also supported. We support it gracefully, such as greetings, exit, showing gratitude, showing displeasure, showing remorse, being helpful, etc., etc. So that's one of the features for Requester. The other one that I want to talk to you about is Now Assist in AI search. So this is a search experience. We've enhanced it a lot more than what it was in Q3 with support for knowledge blocks and attachments as well. So when they search for, how do I fix the video in this particular instance, it's not just pulling information from knowledge bases, it's pulling information from reusable knowledge blocks as well that is used in answering generated like back and forth Q&A answers, and also attachments are now supported as part of the Q&A answers. You will see a lot more enhancements come through for this one also in the coming future, or actually in the coming quarters, but something that we wanted to kind of highlight for Requester here. The third one that I want to kind of point out here is, yes, it is an agent experience, wherein you're able to make enhancements to the knowledge base. But really, the reason why we put it here is really think about it as a virtuous loop or a virtuous cycle. So the answers that the requester gets, the catalog that they kind of pull in is only as good as, the knowledge articles that's getting created, or the case information, or the amount of information that a case has, and the quality of resolution node that gets generated, etc. So to that effect, what we've also done is, you would have seen in Q3, we had knowledge-based generation, wherein from within a case, an agent is able to click on a few buttons and generate a knowledge base from out of the box with out of the box template support. What we've done here is kind of gone ahead and also said, okay, how can we make that experience also better for you? So you will see the Now Assist context menu, which is the shorten and elaborate, the AI icon. So you're able to click on a particular paragraph, a few sentences. You want to elaborate, you want to shorten, go ahead. For the Now Assist context menu also, you will see a lot of enhancements come through. But the reason why I kind of am emphasizing on this is the whole information, the whole end-to-end experience, all the way from your customer to your agent to your, the tier one, tier two agents. The experience is only as good as the data that you kind of give it, be it in the case of knowledge bases generation, be it in the case of the activity stream, the cases that get generated, etc. So we're kind of thinking about it holistically, end to end, and not just, again, one-off cases here and there. Moving on. KV generation, we've kind of enhanced it with multi-language support as well. And you'll see like all the P1 languages, French, Canadian French, German, Japanese, and Dutch support. We are able to quickly generate them with multiple languages too for Q4. And you saw all of the Now Assist for CSM features. I kind of want to quickly highlight the Now Assist platform features too. We are a platform company, and so you will also see all of this goodness if you have Now Assist for CSM or any other Now Assist plugins. Now Assist, Guardian, Now Assist Data Kit, enhanced multilingual support, and Amazon Bedrock Spoke as well. So one thing that I kind of want to point out is, especially, Anil touched upon this, Now Assist Data Kit helps you with bringing in your own data sets, setting your own data benchmarks, running your own tests if you have to on your own data, to then say, oh, this is the kind of data output that I'm expecting. And then once you have your skills set up, you're able to run experiments on the data that you have kind of deemed as your benchmark as well. Now Assist Guardian helps you set guardrails, helps you set guardrails around like offensiveness or catching offensiveness, even it goes into like, the agent workflows or summarizations or whatever it is. And Amazon Bespoke, if you connect to it, you're able to kind of connect to all the other native, the foundational models that Amazon Bespoke gives you as well. Like example, Azure OpenAI is one of them. So you don't have to use Now LLM, only Now LLM. You can kind of expand it to other language models as well. Those are our platform features. This is all the goodness only in Q4. As you can see, we have a lot more coming, but I'll probably pause here